Welcome everyone, Grand Gnosis Master Dr. Thor Templar here, and I'm going to discuss a very important amulet that we have been using in one form or another for quite some time for our ritual customers. Now we're offering this to the general public as well because it's one of the most important areas of occultism and talked about in traditional sorcery. The traditional sorcery course has a whole chapter on this, tells you how to do uncrossings, what's involved with it, etc., giving you a basic background. You know, this is an essential course. It covers really a vast area of traditional sorcery. We have refined this to make it easier to do instead of the more complicated multi-candles, multi-formulas that the course talks about. But if you really want to understand traditional magic that crosses over all traditional lines, because it's a hybrid system, very typical of what you would get in an American sorcery system. It's a combination of traditional Western witchcraft, Wicca, hoodoo, voodoo, Santeria, etc. You know, a lot of these things all come together, so we highly recommend that people check that out. But let's get into the actual use of this Uncrossing Amulet. Now, uncrossing, as I've mentioned, is super important because if you're blocked in life, everything is very difficult. And people are in this situation, come to me all the time. Everybody is crossed to some degree. So whether it's a first degree, which is because negative energies have built up around you, there's certain particular things that don't go as smooth, or your second degree, where life gets to be a little tough, and third degree, where everything you do is like climbing a mountain. And this is where a lot of people are at. These cross conditions start to infect your entire reality, and that means that it starts to affect relationships, jobs, health. And so you steadily go down over the years because what happens is this black kind of layer starts to build, sheeting, you could kind of see it. So that you keep getting one sheet of black energy preventing you from moving ahead, dropping over you as you go through different stresses in life. And people have went through different traumas, whether this may be illnesses, family abuse, horrible relationships, or living life in general, because I don't know anybody, except for a select few, who seem to have a good life. So what happens is it builds up these toxicities, and it can build up in one particular area, which affects your health, or it can build up in certain areas which are blocked. You can't make financial investments or get decent jobs, or you can't find the right relationship. That means you're crossed in that area a little more than others, or quite a bit more. Now, if you stay crossed for long periods of time, you will then, it will affect all areas of your life, not just the one and so forth. So it's very important that you get uncrossed, and one of the best ways to get uncrossed, and part of the actual Uncrossing Amulet, is that we will be doing a 60-day uncrossing on you as well directly. So you get both of the benefits of this. But once you have an uncrossing, this gives you a major boost in consistent energies to you. Now, getting an amulet is like having a consistent ritual work being done on you all the time. And that's the beauty of it. You know, ritual work is very difficult to manifest with other people to the high level that they expect. And people are very, very sick. You know, it's like people that go to alternative practitioners. You know, they tend to be fourth stage cancer. They tend to have weeks or months to live, and then they're expecting a miracle. And this is very true with, of course, magical amulets as well. But even going in and helping you, which brings you to a neutral area, that's what uncrossing does. You got to remember, people think because you have all these blockages removed, that somehow life is now perfect. Well, it isn't perfect. You have to fix all the problems you've had in the past. They're not going to go away. If you're ill, you can now get well, but you're going to have to work at it. You're not going to just click the fingers, twinkle the nose, this is an Igimagini or bewitched or whatever's going on in local times. This is the fact that you are now have an open road ahead of you, and you would have no chance whatsoever if you did not have an uncrossing? And how do you maintain these energies? How does this not build back up on you? Well, this is the big problem in life. Now, learning to do magic is certainly one way to do that, but it's kind of a hard step and something that we've given up except for doing or in teaching people who are really serious, because it's too much work. You have to study it. You have to, this was very much what everyone did in the 80s and 90s. You got a course and you wanted to be a great magician. Well, we've all moved to the fact that yes, but we go to doctors and lawyers because they spent the time and energy to do that, to become professionals at it. Trying for yourself to learn that is difficult. Now, what we've tried to always do is make tools that move you up to these next level occultism without having to go through years of training. Now, you still get better results when you do the foundation work. Now, the foundation work has to be your centering and your occult gem. You don't have to necessarily learn a system. All you need is to get an amulet past that. But if you can't concentrate, if your mind is controlled by someone else, or the little devil in your mind, I should say, and not your consciousness controlling you, the mind tells you to do all sorts of garbage. And it is negative to self-destruct you. Now, so what you need is just a tool. Now, we've devised tools that we have made here that are serving as a conduit to powerful energies, as if rituals are being done for you daily. And we've connected you to those energies. Your photograph is on one side of the amulet and the empowered sigils on the other. This means the energy is being transferred directly to you 24/7. Extremely powerful tool, but you have to interact with it. You just can't sit there and eat Cheetos and drink Coca-Cola and watch Gilligan's Island. You have to be part of the process. While it is a nominal thing to do, it's still something you have to do. The other passive way, of course, is using one of our Triforce systems, which is a ritual in a box that's super easy to use. But you still have to interact with the energies. The better you can interact with the energies, the stronger you can pull them to you, the more effective the tool will be for you. So amulets are all used the same, and we recommend you listen to the different audios that are generally speaking of amulets, because amulets are amulets. The only thing different here is the energy that is in them for a particular purpose. The other thing is these are lifetime tools. That's right, you use these for life, and you certainly should. Negative energies of direct, indirect are never going to go away. And if you do not take care of this, people who are uncrossed will be crossed again soon. So it's just as simple as that. It's like everything. You can't work out and eat right for 2 or 3 months and say, well, that's it, back to junk food and no exercise. Well, it's never going to work that way. It's a lifestyle, as is keeping clear, and it's worth every second of time. And we've made things super, super easy. That's what next level occultism is all about. But you still have to participate for brief periods of time at high intensity. So it's very important. So the basic way all amulets are used now is you place the sigil picture of your amulet facing your third eye, the center of your forehead. Your photograph will be pointing outwards. You then take the laser, place it on the actual amulet, and trigger it for the count of 2. 1, 2, that's it. This isn't... Energies are instantaneous. There's no reason to do things for long periods of time. You then transfer that to the top of your head, otherwise known as the crown chakra, and repeat the same. Now, you want to do this often at high intensity, not when you're tired, not when you feel good, not when you don't feel good, not when you're negative. High intensity. And when you're doing this, you want to think, psych yourself up. This is removing all the negative out of my aura and out of my life. Boom, on to the next one. Boom. High intensity. You certainly can do that for very short periods of time. And this is the key to everything. Long meditative states, sitting like a guru on the ground in a diaper. Well, maybe if you have nothing else to do and you don't have flush toilets or streets, this is a great way to go. But I'm afraid that that's old world nonsense that has produced a country of nothing. This is next level high-tech occultism for the future and beyond. But all in all, it's as simple as that. Make sure when you trigger the laser, you're thinking of getting rid of some. Now, if there's something particular in your life, I want to get rid of this illness. I want to get rid of this blockage in prosperity. I want to get rid of this relationship problem. And all of this is what you wanted. You should do this for the first week of owning your amulet. You should do this 3 times a day. Now you got to remember, this takes a whole, maybe a minute. Well, you ain't got a minute, man. Well, if you ain't got a minute, you got problems. So the whole idea is that very quick with high intensity. Picture, get it done, get it, move on. This spending hours of doing things is passé, baby. So the whole idea is that's all you need to do. Now, once you've completed the first week, make sure that you do this twice a day consistently. Now, if your life is going okay, maybe you only want to do this once a day or 3 times a week. But generally, you wear this amulet throughout your waking hours. At nighttime, remove it. Put it next to your bed. Put it in your Triforce system. You don't want to wear it while sleeping. It's too much energy. What happens when you build up too much of a specific energy is your consciousness rejects it. Your physical body energies reject it. So it's bad. You need to take a break from the direct energy touching you. Now, it's being sent to you 24 hours anyway with your picture on there. But getting into sleep states and having this energy pulsating into you consistently over time becomes very negative. So remove it. Make sure as soon as you get up in the morning and you're functioning or going to go out the door or you're dressed, whatever, make sure you put this on with any other amulets that you have. Now, an important word about this. This keeps you uncrossed, opens blockages. It does not manifest anything in your life. So you're neutral, which is critically important. How can you go ahead if there's a giant boulder in front of you? You're going to run into that boulder every day and get nowhere. Once that boulder is removed, you can sit and look at the opening. Ooh, it's open. Ain't that nice? Well, you're still standing in the same place. And this is the problem we have with people who are uncrossed. Well, my life hasn't changed. Well, of course it hasn't changed. You now have to get actively involved in it. This is where using prosperity, amulets, health amulets, all the things that you need come into play, as well as doing basic practices. So we have lots of books that are just psychically based by Kenyatta Long, which tell you how to bring empowerment into your life. All these have been tested and work great. And they work great for people who do what? Who use them. So the point is, we do have to do that. You have to use these and push yourself ahead. There are lots of little easy things that can be done. There are simple things that are very that cost virtually nothing, particularly salt rights. Most people have been sent these. Underneath this amulet, you'll see a copy you can download. Simple little things to do, taking salt baths, burning salt, putting out peppermint jars and jars full of salt. All this sucks in negative energies, costs very, very little. And these are great little ways to get involved with it. Lighting a tea light, particularly with an oil formula on it, that is what you need at that time. And everyone probably should have money, success, healing, protection. These are oils you should have all the time in our special roll-on bottles, which will last you literally 2 to 3 years. So lighting a little candle every day with your empowered thought forms in it, a tea light. You don't need messy other junk that costs. Tea lights are cheap, they're safe, they're wonderful. You should be doing this every day. These take minutes. Virtually, these take seconds to do once you're set up, and your life will change. Anyone who's followed our systems has never failed. Now, whether you're going to reach the level of super greatness, well, that is dependent on a lot more factors than just being uncrossed and using guild products. But I can certainly tell you it's the first step to greatness, and that is using guild products and using them correctly. They're inexpensive, they're powerful, and they're easy to use, otherwise known as the perfect ultimate system. So that's it. As usual, anyone who uses any of our products or needs any help, make sure if you have questions, that you contact me. Our email is open all the time, and we are happy to answer questions. Do not hesitate to contact us.